if we are indeed going live. All right, we're live on Restream. Are we live on Twitch? We'll find out in a second. We are indeed live on Twitch. And are we live on YouTube? Eventually as well. Okay, welcome to Code Hangout number 265, where I'm back after a week off for the conference for SudokuCon in Manchester and a week off getting sick. And I'm trying looking for a volume dial here. And today I'm going to do something slightly different. I have been wanting to do something with Toby and, you know, the animated Toby for a long time in terms of using him as a sort of a little mascot to do things with. And one of the things I've always wanted to do with him is like using him for animating little tutorials and guides and, you know, for kids to learn how to play puzzles and things like that. Today I'm going to kind of sketch out sort of the idea behind it a little bit, and I will sketch it out in the way I know best, which is with code. I always sketch with code. So what I want to get to eventually is I want to where is it? There should be something. Yeah, I want to basically have some sort of a couple of animation frames of him sitting there holding his frisbee, flinging the frisbee, and then the frisbee going wee 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 across the grid, updating the grid with, you know, whatever the tutorial demands at that point. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm actually not going to start with Toby. I'm going to start with the movement. And for that, I actually want a little spline editor. So I haven't done this in a while, so it's going to be a little fiddly. But basically, I just want to have a canvas here. Let's see where the canvas is. I think if I open the console and then click on here, there should be a canvas here, right? And we basically just want to make the canvas be the same size as the background. So let us first say a body with a background that's red. Oop. And then a canvas background blue. I don't know if I can set the background color on a canvas. Yes, I can. And then a resize, we're going to just set the canvas sizes, right? So we're going to say canvas.width equals, or let's say, oh, wait, actually, what we're going to do is, on init, we're going to do window.add event listener resize, and then here we're going to say log window.client width, I guess. And if I do this undefined, okay, document. Do I have to do document.body? I suppose. Actually, we could probably just do parent, canvas.parent. But we're actually gonna say position absolute, and then we're going to do canvas.width equals document.client width. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, I sometimes forget that I'm not working in my regular editor, and then I use keyboard shortcuts such as duplicate a line, and they just don't work. So now, if I resize, it should become that, yeah. But we also want this to be overflow hidden. So now, shouldn't get a scroll bar, right? And the background here should be just really dark. And then we should call resize on init as well. Like that. And here we go. And now that blue area will be our canvas. And what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to draw a spline path I'm trying to remember when the last time I've done that. But to do that, I don't want to waste too much time building some sort of fancy framework. But normally, basically, you'd have some handles. You'd have to render the handles, right? And you'd probably want to update things. So we're gonna do a few things here. We're gonna on init. We're also gonna do a handle mouse move, and that has an event. So we're gonna do to the resize. We'll do handle mouse move, and that'll be the mouse move event, mouse move. And then we'll have a couple more variables here. So we'll have a canvas. I'm just going to call them mx, my, I think. So it's going to be I'm just going to log this event out for a sec to remind myself. So as I wiggle my mouse here, sorry, they're not going to be shown. Must be, need to use the browser console instead. Okay, that's weird. All right. So we just want client X, client Y, I think. So mx equals event dot client X. Client Y. So mx and my should now always be up to date. And then later on we'll add some other things, probably, such as figuring out delta arrows and things like that. We'll probably want the overall width as well, but we'll do that when we get to it. So let us draw a path, and we'll probably want to we'll probably just want to start with and normally I put things in the order they get executed, but maybe we'll put all of these sort of admin stuff underneath. They're not really that important. We have our sort of context of up here, right? We want to have a redraw function, so we'll just say function redraw for now. And we'll run that on whatchamacallit, on the request animation frame. I'm just gonna remind myself of the syntax. So that's okay. So that's just that. So we'll do that in init as well. And can I just grab this and move this up here? Nope. I grab this and I put it here, and I'll just say redraw. Now, if I redraw here, it'll obviously run a million times. Oh, yeah. Actually, we're gonna do something slightly different. We're gonna have function handle request animation frame time. All right, and here we're gonna call redraw. So actually, request animation frame, that goes in here, and then this goes in here. Because then we can do things like redrawing only every other frame and stuff like that, and reducing the frame rate, or calling it. So instead of this, we could call it on an interval and that kind of thing. Yeah, I had like a whole little mini framework for this stuff. In fact, for now, I'm gonna do set interval redraw every 500 milliseconds, just for testing, right? So down here, redraw. Okay, we can get rid of this. We're gonna get rid of that, and basically we want a series of points. In the moment, there'll be just 2. And the points will have handles. And I don't want to... I want to build it well enough that I can reuse it. But basically, I want to be able to draw a spline. For now, we're just going to draw a line here. So we're going to do... I'm just going to... Let me see. So we have canvas here. We have CTX. So canvas CTX equals canvas.get context 2D. Wait, canvas dot, actually, can I just do $canvas and do that? Nope. MDN canvas get context. Is it context and then 2D? Yeah, okay, so it's, my god, I haven't done this in so long. I'm getting rusty. All right. So let's draw a line just quickly, and we don't want to do this in here. We want to do this above main. So we want to do this up here. So we'll see CTX dot move to 10 10. We'll say CTX dot stroke equals red, I think, and then CTX dot line to 100 100. Does that get us a line on this canvas? No. What else do we do? Oh yeah, CTX dot stroke. Right? CTX dot stroke. CTX dot CTX dot. So once we have the context, we want the WebGL. No, we don't want the WebGL 2D rendering context. We just want to have canvas rendering context, and we want to stroke style, line join, line width, move to fill, line to stroke, begin path. All right, so stroke style, CTX dot begin path. And I think stroke closes the path. Hey, there we go. We get a line here. All right. We want to get rid of the blue color now. That's just distracting. Do we want to... the canvas is transparent. The background is quite dark. Is that what we want? Normally, I don't like working on a white background, but maybe it's what we're gonna need. All right, I'm gonna make this full screen for now, so we get a little bit more space here. So that gets us that red line. When I resize, it takes half a second before it redraws. So the resize should also do a redraw. So after the resize, we should have a redraw. The redraw should always redraw, right? So, we can do the lines. Canvas spline. Because I think there's a native way of doing splines, right? JavaScript canvas spline. No, do we have to render splines from scratch ourselves? I mean, it's not super hard. No, I'm sure there is a way. Set transform. Because I've done splines from scratch, no problem, but that's not really what this stream is about. Get transforms for redraw. Native does not have a built-in spline method. You can draw smooth spline curves through an area of points. Use mathematical formulas combined with native curve methods. Zero curve 2. Draw spline. I mean, I guess we could just do this. All right, fine. See if I care. Ooh, too many indents. Why is it double indented? Why is everybody indenting so strangely? So, it's drawing through the points. Points is less, length is less than 2. But this doesn't give us the handles. Calculate control points based on tensions. We don't want the Bezier curve. Draw spline with handles. Which are the control handles? I think it's giving us the wrong 4 points of Bezier segment. Start, control handle, blah, blah, blah. Move to line 2. Draw handle 2. Line from ending point to control point 2. If you want to physically see the handles on your screen, understand how they're moving, you can modify the draw loop, point them in red and green. Cardinal spline, Catmull Rometh. No, I don't want the cardinal spline. I want control point calculation. So this approach calculates the ideal control points between a set of coordinates and renders them using the native hardware-accelerated Bezier curve 2 method. Oh, okay, wait a second. Yeah, we don't want to control... okay, so Bezier curve 2, that's what we're looking for. Bezier curve 2, we get x, y. These are the control points. Okay, that's what we want. We don't want to do any of these things, right? So let us get us some control points. So let's how do I want to structure this? I guess for now we'll just have 4 points. So we'll do a function, draw Bezier, and draw Bezier, P1, P2. Do we do them in order with the control points in the middle? Control point. So the Bezier 2, okay. P1, P2, control point 1, control point 2. Right, and then here we'll do, it'll be a begin path. Actually, it won't be a begin path, it'll be a move to. Actually, can we just draw Bezier, basically? Yeah, we'll just use this to convert to a draw Bezier. And we don't even need this CP1, CP2, right. So we're assuming that the current position is where we're drawing from. Actually, no. Let's do this just to get started. So that'll be P1.x, P1.y, and we'll do a draw Bezier from here. We'll do a draw Bezier, and we'll go from x, y, 10. That's our first point. 8. To make a cake, you first have to make the universe or something like that, right? So we want to go from 10, 10 to, let's say, 400, 400. And for now, we're going to just leave the control points on the same points as these. Right. And I almost feel like it'll make more sense to put these in order. Kind of like this. So it'll be like that, like that. And now we'll do this, and then we'll draw... We'll draw Bezier curve 2. So we'll move to that, and then context Bezier curve 2. And that'll be CP1.x, CP1.y, CP2.x, CP2.y, and then P2.x, P2.y. And that's pretty much it. Okay. And now if I move this to x400, okay, and if I move this control point to x10, it is what we would expect. Okay, so now we want to draw control points, and we want to make them move and clickable, right? So, we want to put this in a line. We want to have this as a sort of. I'm trying to think. Do we want to? Yeah, we want to have an area of Beziers, right? So we have Beziers, right? Oop, that's not how you spell Beziers. Or Bezier. Or line. Curves, right? So, here we do curves dot push. That'll be one of our curves, right? And then we'll do here. We'll do actually a curve should have maybe other things. Because I'm just thinking we'll probably want to have drawn objects, right? And we'll have other things than curves and stuff. The clickbait title. There will be animated Toby. Look. I will oust my terrible animation skills. But we also need an animated frisbee. And to animate something, you need an animation editor, right? So we'll just call this elements. What do you call list of things that are to be drawn? Drawn objects, elements, items, drawings. All right. So this now needs to be actually an object, right? And then this will be points. Something like that. And it will be type Bezier. Something like that, right? And then we'll go rip for const drawing of drawings switch drawing dot type case Bezier break, and then he'll really just say draw Bezier drawing dot points. And maybe we'll do a function draw drawing, and then we'll move that in there. Right. We'll do that in here. So drawing to type, draw Bezier, drawing dot points, something like that. And then here we'll just say for each of these drawings, we'll draw the drawing, and then we can get rid of that. Yeah, maybe. Is this... Am I too far off? Am I too far off something sensible here? Where did I go wrong? Curves is not defined. Oh, it's supposed to be called drawings. Where's curves? Oh, drawings. Alright. We'll do stroke red. Alright. Then here we'll do begin path. We'll say if drawing dot stroke, if drawing dot stroke, ctx dot stroke style, blah blah blah, like that. And later on we'll figure out about doing multiple and things like that. But now that we have these sorts of things, we can also draw handles, right? So for example, we can also draw dot rect. And rect, I believe, is... Let's see. Actually, we don't even need the rect for now. We'll just say... we'll say ctx.move to this. I'm trying to think, because we probably want to mess with the handles and styles and stuff, so we want to need to be able to switch between them. But we might have to do some pushing and popping and all that sort of thing. But basically, you can move back to here. I think we can do a stroke set line dash. So if I do something like set line dash, so I do something like this, set line dash, because we'll probably pull these apart and do all the editor drawings separately, because we can then also do save and restore. So there should be save, enter state of the canvas by pushing save onto a stack, save and then restore, right? So if I do ctx.save and then ctx.restore, and then we'll do so we'll do this, set line dash ctx.stroke RGBA 50 50 50. Oh, actually, if we make it 0 0 0 and then 0.5, something like this, style equals, if we do this instead, and then we'll do ctx dot line 2, and this would be the control point 1, control point 1 y, and ctx dot stroke. Aha, that's up here now. Move to line 2. What if I change... Ooh, nope. I keep hitting my hotkey for... But if I change this to just a black... Do I get a black line up there? Ah, we get a dashed line on top of the red line. Ah. Do we need to do a separate begin stroke? If I do a begin path here. Can I do... Okay, can... JavaScript canvas, can I do nested paths? Can I draw nested paths? Does not have a form because nested subpaths, the parent child inside paths with save and restore. Manage multiple subpaths, use save and restore, but paths themselves are not saved or restored by those methods. Save and restore only affect the drawing state. Okay, so we definitely want to draw the handles separately. Okay. Do I want to deal with this right now? Probably not. Yeah, so I don't want to deal with this right now. So I'm going to actually encapsulate this to here. And then we'll just do this here. Right. And then we can do move to P2 blah 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 and line to CP2 CP2, right? And then we'll probably want to have a separate function oops, draw Bezier handles. And then here we'll just have the drawing passed in, right? So it's just the drawing. Right. And then here we'll say const p1, p2, no, cp1, cp2, p2 equals drawing dot points. Can I just do that? If I do this, does that work? Okay. And then we have stroke. So we'll do this. No. We'll do this. Stroke. And begin path. Yada yada yada. Stroke style. If stroke, stroke style equals stroke. Right, that gets us down to here. Now we'll do our handles here. And if I change this to that. Okay. And it gets darker because it gets redrawn. We're not clearing the canvas before. So we'll do ctx.clearRect. And we'll probably want to have width and height. So after the resize, we want to do w equals that and h equals that. And then clearRect 0, 0, wh. Is that how clearRect works? C clearRect. XY width height, yeah. All right, so now these stay thin. Our dashed line style is not great. So that should be maybe 510. Yeah, maybe something like that, or maybe 1010, or maybe 5.5, something like that. Maybe 1010. Anywho, not important. And then we want to have the handles at the end. So then we want to have ctx dot stroke style, actually fill style RGBA 2550 255 0.8, something like that. And then ctx.fillRect around these minus 4, 5, minus 5. Is fillRect also like clearRect with height, or is it? Nope, it's also with height. Okay. So something like that. Fill style equals something like that. Okay, and then we'll no. Stop it. I keep trying to duplicate files with Control-Shift-D, I think. That's how it is in my editor, my code editor. So that gets us our little drag handles. And now we'll just need to be figuring out which drag handle we're hitting. And it might be a little tricky when there's multiple. But I basically want to be able to drag these. Oh, and we need to be able to drag the endpoints as well. Maybe with like little empty rectangles. So if I do a stroke, the stroke style is already that. So what if I make if I make rect, and then I'll just have P1 and P2, and then stroke. It's weird that there's a fill rect and not a stroke rect. Why does JavaScript Canvas have fill rect but not stroke rect? I wonder if there's a good reason for that. There very well could be. It does have a stroke rect, so it does not, because when used heavily on fill rect, the generic rect path method. Okay, so we have a stroke rect. Well, learn something new every day. Stroke rect. But we want the line dash to be different. Set line dash. I think if we do set it to an empty array, like that, would that work? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Then if I say something like handle size equals 10, right? And then we'll make these handle size. Right. And then minus 0.5 times handle size. Okay. And then we can make these 20. Hey, look at that. All right. And now we need to be able to grab them. Oh, and I wanted to move that into another function. So I move this here. And then I can move all of the save into here. And I can say just do this. Something like that. Oh, doesn't like it. Oh, because we also need to do this. Hey, look at that. And I'm sure we can make this sexier down the line if necessary. Okay, now I want to do some more mouse handling. So we have the handle mouse move here. We might need to do more with that. Oh, I did it again. So if I do this, mouse down and mouse up, and then we'll say blah 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 blah. We'll do mouse move, mouse down. No. I need to figure out what the hotkey is to get back. Dock to right. I don't know why D gets dock to right. That's so strange. Down. Up. All right. And now we need to have a little function that tells us if we're actually down on a handle. So, let's just do this quickly. So we'll just loop through the drawings. We'll just do this for drawings. If drawing.type equals Bezier. And later on, maybe we can generalize it to general drawing handles. I wouldn't know why, because I don't really want to go this far with this. So now if I press down, it gets us this. Okay. And now we'll see if any of the handles match our mouse X, mouse Y, right? So we'll have drawing.points 1, for example. All right. And then we have MX, MY. Right. And then we'll have a little distance function down here somewhere. Function, distance. And maybe instead of MX, MY, we'll just have m pos, and that'll get some x and a y. So dot x and pos dot y. We'll do this, and then function distance. I think there's a native math thing that I should learn to use. Math. JavaScript math native distance. I think there's a math dot hypot. Yeah. We probably still want to wrap that. p2.x, p1.x, p2.y, p1.y. Right. So if we now calculate distance here between this and mpos, uncaught cancel properties undefined setting x. Oh, mpos equals x0. Uh-oh. What the hell? I don't recall pressing refresh. I hope it didn't lose everything. What the heck was that? Yeah, that's a scary thing about relying on a web-based editor. So if I click now, so if I'm in the box, so if I say, let's say, if distance less than 15 or whatever, so if distance or const dist equals if this is less than 15, then he will just break. And then we'll just select it equals, and we'll just have a selected thing here. Selected. Right? So now we'll have selected equals drawing. I guess it'll be an object, right? Drawing and point is this one. So yeah, it'll make sense to kind of distinguish these here. And then here we'll just select equals undefined. So if I do this, all right, and then on redraw, we'll just say console.log, select it. We'll do that. And we might not even have to redraw every frame, right? We couldn't decide when to redraw. Boom, okay. So, and then here we want the offsets as well. So we have the drawing, we have the point, and we have an offset. And we'll just, we'll probably want to have some little functions. Function p diff. It's p1, p2. Right, and it's just, we return x is p2.x minus p1.x. No, I keep doing it. It's so ingrained in me. All right, I'm getting a stomach ache. This is not great. All right, so if I do a pdiff here, and if I do this between these two, what does that look like? You guys might not see this in the bottom right. pdiff x, y. It thinks we're selecting this point, but I feel like I have x and y's. Yeah, I have x and y's mixed up. So if I do this, x is -6. If I do this, x is positive. Yeah, so that should give me the position, the relative position, right? So that should be offset. Boom. Right. So now, if we have a selected item, we want to move that. So during mouse move, if selected, right, so log selected and pause. So we need to be adding up. So we have pdiff and we'll have, god damn it, again. Oh my god, I don't know if I'll ever figure that out. So we'll have psum. And I'll swap these just cause. So we now want the point to be the sum of yada yada. All right, so if we have a selected thing, we want selected dot point to be, yeah, we can yeah, I guess I can do object.assign selected point psum of mpos and selected.offset. There's probably a million ways of doing this. Oh my god, I hate this kind of indentation. Whoever thought you should indent halfway down the line? That's so dumb. All right, so if I grab this, hey, look at that. Okay, so now if I change the redraw from this to this, so it's once per frame. And I actually need to redraw like that. So now I should be able to grab this and just move it. Boom. Okay, only that one. Okay, we'll probably want to be able to move any of the points. So we can just say for const point of points, we'll do that. We'll do that. And that. And then I'll just do that and that. And I think we should be able to draw to move all of them now. All right. Okay. And now we probably want to store this in some sort of temporary storage. So we'll just do this in init. All right, so else equals window.local storage, something like that, right? Yeah, math hypotenuse. It moves the def panel back to the same place. The same hotkey. Oh yeah, it does. Thank you. I just was scared to press it. Local storage. We don't want to output selected anymore. Where is that? Handle selected. Boom. Hide that. Storage. Okay. So, Alice, I did it again. Alice.get, is it get or get item? Window.local storage.get. No, it's just get. Local storage.get is not a function. Get item. All right. So get item. Just called drawings for now. Burp. Drawings. Boom. All right. Const stored data. Boom. Stored data. If actually, I'm just gonna no. If stored data is not truthy, we'll just say blah blah blah. Set item drawings. I think I can just put a raw JSON object in there. And then where's main? This doesn't be async. We'll just put this in here. Drawings. Put that in there. Now, because it keeps running every time I type something in here, for all I know, this could be quite the mess at the moment. So if I do this, also, where does the canvas object get logged out? We really don't need to do that anymore. Here. Right? So stored data object. Okay. So if stored data, yada yada. If let stored data. If stored data. If not stored data equals. If I do this over here, what does stored data end up as? An object. Can't I just see the contents of this object down here? Object. No. It's just busted. Okay. JSON.stringify. And then local storage. I might have to erase what's in here. This is going to be in here. Drawings. Boom. I'm paying. Why am I still seeing ads? Oh, maybe I'm not paying anymore because I haven't been using it that much. Okay. This is gonna refresh. Okay, it's still outputting selected. Where? Where? That's never gonna find that. Ah, here. Stored data. Ah, okay. Stored data. Okay. So, I should be able to JSON parse this like that. And then just say I think drawings is an array, and I don't want to mess the references, so I'm just gonna... Okay, so drawings.push, blah, blah, blah. Drawings. Dot, dot, dot. I hope it's not auto trying to close this function and make it executable somehow. And then we want drawings here. And here, right. So now I move this, right, but it gets reset. But we should probably now do a function, functions, save, drawings, and then function load drawings. This has gone already so far out of control. So here we probably now want to do drawings dot push. Are we going to const default drawings? Right, and it's just going to be this, like that, and then drawings.push default drawings, like that, and then set item drawings. No, now we want to do oh, let's do this. We want to do save data, save drawings. So, and save drawings is basically going to be something along these lines. Drawings. All right. And load drawings is gonna be we're just gonna run load drawings here, and all this handling is gonna happen inside load drawings. This is gonna be save drawings, so it's gotta be in here as well. So we can take all of this and put this inside here, where we'll do this, push default drawings, save drawings, and we're done. If not stored data, all right, else stored data. Right? Because we actually have data. Else JSON.put. Now I'm not going to put in a bunch of error handling and so on and so forth. Drawings. Does that make sense? All right. So that'll be drawings dot push. Boom. But we'll have to do drawings.length equals 0 first, because we don't actually want to have an infinite number of drawings in here. All right, so now it'll still won't save because I haven't done that yet, but I should be able to save now. Probably want to do this up here. And now every time we're moving this, so function move update drawings. No, for now we're just going to save drawings here, save drawings. So if I do this, it should only save it. Obviously you want to debounce it and all this stuff, right? But if I press Control S now, it should load this, and our application local storage thingamabob, as I'm moving this around, it'll update the numbers in there. Excellent. Okay, that's kind of what we want, right? And then we want to be able to do, like, add a bunch of these. Oh, stomach hurts. And we want to potentially say, oh, the points continue, yada, 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 right? In fact, I'm trying to think now. Do I want to re-implement all of that stuff? Maybe not. All right. But the idea is, okay, we have a dog sitting there, and the dog could probably be just another one of these drawings, right? So let's, you know, and then I want to be able to say, okay, we have a frisbee. It flies across here. And I'll come up with a better way of doing this path. Maybe I'll use some sort of library tool that just lets me do this, right? And then we'll just zigzag around our, you know, if we start from here, we'll go this way, and then we go this way, and we kind of zigzag back and forth across our Sudoku grid, right? And the frisbee will be flying along those lines. Doing the Bezier drawing from scratch, probably a stupid idea. I probably should have just put it in code. Let's have a quick peek at some of my references, right? So I've been trying to collect some art references, but I probably will have to do custom photos because Toby doesn't like just sitting. He doesn't sit for very long before he lies down. He sits a little bit, and obviously, for example, here I'm seeing the lens is too wide. I need something taking like more like this from further away. And I'm just gonna go through a couple here, but you will see very quickly that it's actually hard to get Toby. Oh, this is his brother Diesel, by the way. To get him to just sit down. He lies down very quickly. He has no patience for sitting. Oh, his eyes. He did not like sitting in that shopping cart. Let me see. Oh, the problem is there's so many. Oh, these are so cute. And I'll get stuck on the cutie ones. But ideally, I have something with him sitting, holding the frisbee. And he's holding the frisbee a lot. It's just usually he's standing or lying down. He very rarely sits. Like, this is a better overall framing. This is him at work, at his search and rescue training. Oh my god. This was me checking if he pays attention to the TV when there's a ball on it. And that's pretty much the only thing I've found that makes him look at a TV. Okay. Let's see. I'd like to have the face kind of like this. A little bit like in the cartoon. All right. Where do I have Toby sitting, holding a frisbee, and not lying in the grass? He lies in the grass a lot as well. This is him letting me know that he wants to be outside, but he also doesn't want to be alone. He wants me to come outside to play with him. All right. Where is... There's so much material to go through. And a lot of it is obviously not suitable. Oh, that was Toby in Sardinia. One of his trips abroad. I've taken some shots with the purpose of trying to get it as a reference. But I think I make the mistake of coming into close, and then you don't get... Like, you get a lot of lens distortion and things like that. It needs to be from much further off. I want to just... this wouldn't be too bad if it was illuminated appropriately. I mean, I want to start with the Swen Peak graphic, right? This is the original graphic. And I want to kind of have that style, but have him sit. I'm wondering if I should use just like a Google search, right? So dog sitting with frisbee, something like that, right? Like a Google image search. I want it kind of like this, off to the side a little bit, not straight on like this one. Like this almost has that swing of him about to chuck the frisbee. Do I not have anything like that with Toby? That would be such a shame. Probably in this middle area. Area. Yeah, I've been trying to take some pictures, but like they're too close. My instinct is to take them close up, so I get a lot of detail. But in reality, I just need a reference, like a pose reference, right? And I actually kind of want him looking to the side. I wonder if something like this, like boom, swing, if there was a frisbee involved. Oh, Toby. This isn't too bad. Let me add these to the pose references. No, I want to add them. Maybe this one and maybe these. I'm just gonna add them to the references. All right. Toby competing. Do we have something else with him sitting, looking not straight at the camera? Because I always try to get him looking at the camera to get a clean image of his face, but in reality, I need the side view for the poster. Oh my god, he's so cute. He's so cute. Toby and Snow. That would actually be good for contrast and for like details in the fur and such. What was this yellow thing there? What is that? I don't know. Oop. This is him asking to be allowed on his own bed. I don't know why he's asking these kind of questions. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be him sitting. It could be him standing as well. That could work. These are also, this is also kind of nice. I'm gonna add that to the reference album. The thing is, the lighting is pretty terrible there, I think, because there's like all the detail is gone. Yeah, I need to find some videos as well. Toby holding a ball. It's not actually going to be that useful. How did Greta got? Oh, she must have been coming towards me playing with Toby. These are also probably, I took these with the all right. Greta's sleep is probably not part of, shouldn't be part of the stream. What else do I have? Problem is also we take him out at night a lot in the dark, so the images from that times obviously aren't very well lit. This almost has a good pose with like the head off slightly to the side. This we could. I'm thinking like 2-frame animation, him looking to the side like this, boom, 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 and then it flies. You know what I mean? So let's play with that. Let's play with that. So if I grab this, right, and I'll nope. If I grab that and I put that there, and then we'll grab this one and we'll put that there, and then we'll sort of align these a little bit. Can I make this transparent? Oops. There's his head. It's a different scale. Still feels slightly bigger. All right, I'm gonna do something quickly here. I'm gonna draw a very rough outline just to see where he is more easily. And then I want to align this one to this outline. So I think maybe the way his body is in the water relative to the length of his feet is probably messing with my perception of scale. So in fact, he's probably supposed to be... no. No, there's something... The angles are just so different to this. I mean, this is his head, obviously, so his head kind of needs to fit into that. Do this. That's not crazy bad for this rough thing, right? And then we kind of need to get rid of the background a little bit. So if I say layer mask, reveal all, and then we'll just do this. Oh. Where's cursor? I need a big one. Big circle. Ooh. If I do this. Right? Again, this is just as a reference to the animator and artists. Oops. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a problem because the pose I wanted wasn't necessarily him lying, but more like a sitting pose. But like I said, it's kind of hard to get those. All right, let's do the same thing here. Reveal all. And then I think I can just grab these. Get rid of all of the C. Nope. Brought it all back. All right. Well, I'm just masking, so I can always bring it back if I take away too much. Like there. Don't want to mess with the silhouette of his ears. I think they're it's quite important. Quite an identifying element. All right. So if we go from here to here. I don't like it because it's not really dynamic of him sitting. It's him lying down, which obviously you don't get that dynamism of actually. And I'd love to have even just 2 photos like that. And obviously he doesn't actually swing the frisbee, like he doesn't try to throw it. So I guess what I'm trying to convey, I'm never actually gonna get. Maybe I have to do it myself and then superimpose him. Just maybe I do it myself just to get a movement of the frisbee. Because also I have a long arm, so if I swing the frisbee to throw it, it looks different than Toby with just a swing of his head, where he basically just has the length of his snout to kind of get the frisbee actually moving. And again, this is not something I'm going to be able to get him to do in the real world. It's something the animator will have to imagine. So because I was thinking of taking something like this and then just cutting bits of him and move them, but obviously I need to turn the head sideways, which I can't get from that position. Unless I have something where he kind of moves already like that. Kind of like where he's turning his head. I mean, I should be able to get him like this and then take a picture with him looking to the side. Like the thing that we're just working with. But ideally from the exact same position rather than from all over the place. Could I edit this down to just the head, maybe? Maybe that would be better. Like, if I get rid of all of that and just sort of have the head only, and then end up with like this without the paws and such. I mean, as an animation reference, it might be enough. I'm trying to think how I could. This one gets to Sven, the frisbee. Oh yes. I'm trying to think what is a good way to prototype this. Probably there's like animation tools that will let you do that. I wish Flash was still around. I would be able to do this in Flash. Like I haven't worked with any kind of keyframe animation tool in a long time. But the idea is we start from here, we go from here, and then the next frame is the frisbee. So imagine we'll grab the frisbee. Nope. Nope. Right. And then here, what if we layer raster mask, reveal all. If I do this, can I just select these things here? If I now say layer raster mask, now I say layer raster mask, reveal selection, right? And now I should be able to do this. Kind of like that, fill it in a little bit. I mean, I obviously can get a separate picture of the frisbee, no problem. That's, well, the frisbee is, it's going to be a cartoon frisbee anyways, right? So, because now we can have, you know, frame 1, frame 2, and then actually the frisbee shouldn't be like this. It should be more like this, flying off, right? Ah, man, it's so clear in my head. Well, to be fair, one of the dog, what I would like to do is, one of the references I also have for a 3D model, I didn't include it in here, but there's a game on Steam called 1 Billion Ducks, and they use like a very low poly, a low poly dog model that I'd love something like that. Now in the game, the dogs are used to collect ducks, which I don't like. And I wish there was an image of them not holding anything in their mouth, because I think if you pick up the ducks, they will still just sit there and look at you. Yeah, like this. Like, imagine the black dog, but with Toby's markings on him, you know? And maybe the ears just adjusted a little bit. Like, that's something I would like to do down the line. But I think for something like in Sudoku Pad itself, like just a few frames of 2D animation would be enough. But of course, the 3D models would be a great way of building the references. But even that, like, I don't... You know, 20 years ago, I would have done it in 3D Studio, but it's been a long time since I've done 3D animation. And I do not really have the skill set anymore. I mean, if I grab this, right? And if I bring that into here... Like, I'm trying to think how quickly or how easy would it be or how hard would it be to combine it with Toby's actual art reference from here. So if I grab Toby from here, actually can I zoom in at first? Because otherwise the resolution will go to hell very quickly. So if I do this and bring that in, and if I now turn this like that. Let's do this. Let me do this. I align this. I do this here for a second. I think I'm just gonna go layer style. Nope. Custom mask. Reveal all. What the heck? Like, it has selection, that's why. Alright, let's get rid of this ugly fella. Get rid of that robot arm. Kind of in the way there. Okay. Probably will have to get rid of the paws and stuff. Doesn't make sense to keep those around. And we can use the frisbee maybe to cover up some discrepancies. I'm thinking like there must be a way of sort of painting it onto the model, even like in a 2D way, and I'm sure, you know, it's just cranking the opacity up and down isn't going to do the trick. But we're definitely still in the wrong scale here. Nope, nope. I wanted to do transform. We're getting into the ball. At least we're going scale-wise. We're getting into the right ballpark. Maybe even orientation. Like, that dog's head is right now a little bit bigger, but the ears are much smaller, while Toby has these big fluffy ears. At least this cartoon Toby. I mean, real Toby also has giant fluffy ears. So, I have a feeling I need to get a little bit more a little bit more detailed. Because what I was hoping was that if I get the 3D structure to sort of shine through a little bit, I could adopt the shading, but then the shading on the brown body is so minimal already. And I don't think I can get that through without the colors getting all muddled up. Yeah, it doesn't really help too much, does it? And we still have the problem of only having basically one frame. Like if I actually had that 3D model and I could pose it. I'm not sure if you understand the context of the game. You're hunting ducks. I think the dogs holding the ducks isn't the problem. The problem is you shooting the ducks and the dogs picking them up. So yeah, the whole premise of the duck is to shoot ducks. So that's why, you know, it's just a visual reference for the level of fidelity of the 3D model that I imagine. None of this is satisfying to me, though, unfortunately. I think I'm gonna have to... Here, Toby is kind of holding the frisbee, whoops, in a flat way. God damn it, I just want to zoom in. Can I not grab this or zoom in or something? I can only click on it, I can't zoom it, apparently. Why can't I zoom it? That's weird. There's no zooming option here? Strange. But also he's holding it upside down, which doesn't really help. But the idea is he swings it out, it lifts up as he swings it, like it's hanging down, he goes like this, he swings it. I'm tempted to grab one of his frisbees now. Maybe the movement of the frisbee is actually more important. One second, I'm gonna grab a frisbee. The problem is that I currently don't have a pristine yellow frisbee because they're so hard to come by, so I only have his old ones. But the idea is that he's holding it like this. He swings it over, it'll lift up, and then it'll fly off. And then it goes rip, 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 back and forth across across the board, the Sudoku board, basically. That's the idea. Here's some more of him sitting, holding the frisbee. The thing is, usually when he's sitting, it's kind of just hanging down like that. It's very, very rarely is it sticking out like in that one frame that we just looked at a moment ago. Here. I guess he was clamping. Ah, no, because, yeah, when he holds it upside down, it gets a little bit of stiffness. I mean, obviously, it's just a reference, right? The artist can then draw it however they want. Oh, maybe we can do a reverse of him catching the frisbee and turning that into the throwing. If I have a video of him catching a frisbee, but the thing is he usually runs after the frisbee, so he doesn't catch the frisbee coming towards him. And if he does catch it coming towards him, it's a very fast movement.
Come on, Toby, get it. Good.
That's not him catching or throwing. Well, that's the other way he likes to hold a frisbee.
Take a break.
All right, let's see. Do we have anything else? The reference doesn't necessarily have to have him holding a frisbee because, like I said, it's just a reference. So holding the ball might be enough. I mean, I have a lot of them in the water, which is also not great because you don't see the rest of the pose very clearly. Oh, that's Jin. Brother from another mother. I've already looked at these. Here's one, a good one of him sitting. I'm gonna add that to the references. Why can't I add this as a reference? Oops. It's so weird that it doesn't let me just... Like, what do you mean save? It's in this album, because Greta adds it. I cannot add it to another album, but I can save it and then add the copy to another album. It's so backwards sometimes. I don't understand what the thinking there is. There's some movement, but no letting go of the frisbee or anything like that. But there might be occasionally, sort of like here, the dynamics of him moving the head and flipping the frisbee around. I wonder if... Like, if I take these frames, like, whoop, 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 and then here the frisbee goes, I can emulate a faster speed, right? Maybe that's the way to go about this. I mean, this is super noisy. Why is the video quality so bad? I wonder if the original quality is better than what I see here. Let me download this video clip for a sec and see if this is actually... Oh no, this is really low quality. Oh. Whoa, that's loud. Ouch, my ears. So this is around, 3/4. And there are some buttons. Nope. There are some buttons that are supposed to let you stat frames. Nope. Play, pause, next. You play. Oh no, what I'm thinking about are from the YouTube player, I think. Why is this jumping? Oh, because it's only 22 seconds. Can I do, like, shift? Is that 1 frame? No, that's 1 second. Ah, control. So these are the frames I was thinking about, like, woo! So, 1, 2, 3. I think it's because he's running at the same time. It's not exactly what I had in mind. Obviously, from a static position would be better. But obviously, he wouldn't move like that unless he's running, and the frisbee wouldn't move as well. This is a weird stream. I mean, when in doubt, just show cute doggy. He thinks he's traveling. Sometimes he doesn't come with us. He doesn't like that. Oh, that was Toby listening to Bramster. Oh, there was a live stream with Eliza and Neil as well. Oh my gosh. All right. But I think my best bet might be him running and jumping. I mean, obviously this video quality is ass. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 frames over maybe half a second. And then the frisbee goes off. I should add that video clip to the reference library at least. Where is it? Where is it? I forgot to add it. I don't want to lose it. Was it this one, right? I'm also thinking... Now I'm thinking, because I saw him hold the ring... I'm a very smart dog. That he could... The way he's throwing the frisbee, he could throw elements. Like, he could throw digits. He could throw all sorts of things. Because my initial idea was... You have the frisbee going across the board... and as the frisbee passes cells, the content changes. But now I'm thinking he could literally be throwing various things at the board, right? Like, oh, how about try on digit 1 in this cell or whatever? And then he just chucks the digits onto that cell, you know? Alright, I think that's a good face reference. Okay, so from here, can I add it from here? From here I can add it. That's so dumb. That's so silly. Alright. Here he's panting and lying down. But he is moving his head. Maybe that's useful. Oop. Here he's looking up and looking around. I think that might also be good. He's just standing and holding. I can't scroll. I think something crashed. Is the stream still going? Why is everything else gone when I have this window open? Ah, that was weird. That was weird. Feel foggy. Well, okay, at the moment I'm not really thinking of him as being involved for the solving process. I want to use him quite as a sort of separate thing, you know, like not introducing like for every little thing in the app, but ultimately, yeah, I mean, obviously having a character would be a nice entertaining element for younger solvers, you know, for kids and things. But he could also be part of a tutorial process of like explaining rules and showing things off, you know. For now, I want to have something very generic where I don't have a lot of frames that I can use. Let me see here. I might have some animations or some slightly better quality video. Yeah, I don't see how reversing him catching, especially with a jump, it's never going to look like a throw. I wonder how the video quality comes across, because my stream is not really optimized for just, you know, this kind of video. It's more optimized for slow-moving text. Here, again, he's sitting, but the color brightness and stuff is not very great. Here he's in a good sitting pose. This is actually not bad. Oh, where'd it go? So I'm gonna add these to the reference. He is catching, maybe. No, he didn't get there in time. Oh, why is the video frozen? Yeah, I don't think it likes doing that while also live streaming. I think definitely I need to take some 4K videos, 60 FPS 4K, so I can kind of freeze into the frames. And definitely like with bright lighting, so it doesn't get all smeared, because the compression is just a bit tough. Oh my god, yeah, I remember that day. That was harsh weather. Toby did not care. Oh. I wonder if that's a movement reference at the very least. I kind of like this one as a movement reference. Let me add that. All right. Do we have anything else? I mean, these are good because he has got his signature yellow frisbee in these. This is back in Malta. The other ones were from the Netherlands, I think. Oh. This might not be a bad reference again. I mean, it's obviously easier to get a reference of him catching frisbees than throwing. He's not really in the habit of throwing his frisbee. Where was this? It looks windy and cold. That wall behind Greta doesn't make a lot of sense to me right now. Where was this? I don't even know if this was in Malta or not. I imagine it must be. Or maybe, yeah. I see a .mt. Oh, okay, I know this office building. All right. There's more pictures of him sleeping. I have a lot of pictures of him sleeping. And waiting for his treats. That's a good face reference. I'll be honest, I'm kind of avoiding drawing sketches because I'm not an artist. One person shooting the video, the other person standing from the side and calling Toby. Toby's just turning his head in another direction, another voice. Good reference. Yeah, no, I have to have a setup where ideally the camera's on a tripod, so I don't have relative movement. And then we control him a little bit with off-screen or on-screen, but with holding up a frisbee or a toy or a treat or something. He's not really treat-driven, so just holding up a toy might do the trick. But it's sometimes hard to keep him just looking rather than just moving towards the toy, you know? I mean, the other thing I could do is just video him a lot and then hope that I get something that's useful, you know? So the other problem is like this, he usually comes close to me. So on my own, it's very difficult to do it. So it's definitely a two-person job. I don't know if we looked into this one before. That's maybe not a bad movement reference, actually. I mean, that's the other thing. The idea with the frisbee was just to keep the number of required frames really low. But in reality, it could also be something where he jumps around, you know, hops. Because I'm thinking of it as, you know, I don't have a budget to draw a million different frames. So I was watching a Let's Play of a game called Dive or Die. And the final sort of end scene, the way they animated it, they had like relatively few screens. The individual scenes were sort of animated with just sort of like wavy effects, like, oh, a tentacle was moving in the water or something. But the number of actual frames to convey the movement of the story were very few. Sort of like a character here, and then it crossfades to the character there, and then it crossfades to the character there. And that's kind of how I imagine it going, sort of like having, like, if Toby's running across, it'll actually be like 3 frames of jung, 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 right? And then just repeat it. Not like high fidelity animation, you know? The thing is, I don't really have experience with something like that. I'm just, you know, I just have a idea in my head, and now I'm trying to put something together. Like, I'm also thinking the angles are wrong. I need to video it or record him from a lower angle, even lower than this, almost eye height. Because you don't want it to look like you're looking down on him. Yeah, okay, these I remember. These are actual specifically reference images that I was taking. So I definitely want to add them to the album. But here it's actually not too bad, but it's still looking down, but you almost wanted eye height for him. This is roughly the angle I would want him to be sitting. So let me grab this one here for a sec. If I take this and we just squeeze that in here for a sec. Let's just hide these for a minute. The other thing I could do is if I add a layer now and I do this and I just maybe actually do it in white, and I'll just sketch an outline like this, right? Like this. Nope. No. Oh no. No, redo. Oof. How do I delete? What's the eraser hotkey? E. So if I go back to the brush, that's the paw, right? We also have the other back paw here, and then we have his chest here, then his other front paw here. And now the frisbee's actually in the way. Because now what I could do is I could work from this outline. So I do that. And now I could say, okay, in this... okay, let's add some facial detail here. So we have his snoot. We've got his eyesies. Those would have to be bigger, obviously, for the cartoon effect, I imagine. Ooh, that's not round enough. That's too round. Yeah, I'm also thinking, like, do I want to outline the element, or do I want to basically draw the shape of the element, right? Then we have his shape here. It doesn't look anything like Toby. Maybe if I add the frisbee. I think the frisbee also looks too big. Oops. Oh, it never looks like Toby when I draw him. I don't know why. Is it not enough? Is it not fuzzy enough? It doesn't look anything like Toby. And I think it's because I'm just drawing the lines of the skin rather than the lines of the jaw. Like, this is where his lips are, right? But like this, you're expecting it to be a reference for everything else. I'm not an artist. All right. Do I want to continue here? Can I do, wait, so JavaScript, Bezier, drawing, animation, library. Yeah, maybe something like P5. Ideally, I'll just plonk an image of a frisbee, and then it'll just follow a path, and I don't have to think about it too much. I haven't really worked with P5, but maybe I should. Because it's kind of what I'm doing right now, right? It's kind of that. So, can I just do this? Play. But it's just animating it. It doesn't give me drawing handles. The P5 allowed to assist in creating P0 curves and enhance the original P5 P0 function to extend its capability to the addition of 4 control points. Can I... Showing me the control points doesn't really help a lot. Oh, what's happening here? It's almost like drawing a piece of string around. Oops, I lost my mouse. Does it keep tracking? It seems to keep tracking my mouse even when it's not on the window, which is kind of cool. Oh yeah, it's a limited number of control points, it seems. It's just reusing all the control points somehow. All right, it doesn't give me control points I can actually grab and edit, which is kind of what I wanted. Interactively, yes please. Animate JS. I mean, what I want to do, I really shouldn't have to build from scratch, right? But again, this doesn't have oh, tween builder? No. I need... I need something that I can draw and edit on screen. P5 might be... but the thing is, ultimately, this doesn't give me anything that this doesn't also give me. You see what I mean? It's like, it saves me like maybe a little bit, but then, of course, maybe there's a lot of P5 libraries and tools and things like that. I mean, the other thing I started is kind of animating the numbers. Let me just double check where that is. So I think I did that on CodePen as well. Because I actually started working on building an animation library. Is there... Oh, I'm sorry. My stomach pain is getting worse, and I don't know what it is. It's probably just heartburn or something, but it's kind of distracting me. So I think I did... For sure, I did some reference work here. Whoops, no. I did some tests here with an animation system. Position between positions. Yeah, I was debugging something here. Where is it? Let's see. Ah, here we go. No, that's the WebGL stuff, right? Ooh, that might freeze things up. Matrix mass or animation system 0.001. 0.01. Right click. Yeah. So that was doing that. Trying to remember what I was building here. What the heck? Yeah, I don't think I was using this stuff exactly like that just yet. Just 5x5 dist grid. What the heck? I think I was testing all sorts of things here. Oh, I was using GSAP. Okay. The whole point though is not the output. Like, yes, you can animate shit. Everybody knows that. The point is, how do I make it in a way, how do I build an interface that's easy enough to use that other people will design animations for it? I want puzzle setters to design hints and guides for their puzzle. So the whole point of the animation system only makes sense if I can make the animation user interface or language simple enough for people to figure out and learn and use. And this was more or less just a proof of concept of the sorts of things like, this is how you could illustrate how the converting the puzzle into a matrix for multiplication would work. Yeah. And then, and then the real tricky thing would be things like drawing lines and arrows and animating things and moving things. Like, hey, here's an arrow, here's a highlight of a row or column or cells and things like that. Sudoku animations. Maybe I should look in what other people are already doing. Next. This animation shows how to search progress. Okay, that's interesting. Wait, what? What does it do? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is just a brute force solver? Okay, so this is how an empty puzzle... Whoa, okay. Something crash? I don't know. Alright, that's actually not terrible. Interesting. Free Sudoku animations. I'm a bit worried that I'll stumble into a site that isn't... But this is, yeah, it's like logo stuff. Oh, it's just a pre-made animation site with a pre-made search that made its way into the search results. Sudoku solving, getting animated about Sudoku. Okay, that's not cracking the cryptic video. Oh yeah, I remember somebody did like a 3D animation of whoa, wait, why is it linking to this? Did they not link to the original? Because I don't remember if somebody made this for them. Oh, they must have, because they sent it directly to them. Yeah, the thing is, I would like to build something like this that's generic, that's reusable, that's not just a one-off animation. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it here because this stomach ache is getting worse and it's really distracting me to the point where I'm not really focused. I hope you had some fun looking at Toby photos most of the stream. I want to make a system. I want to build an animation system that lets people create animations. So, you know, something that lets, if somebody wants to create an animation to explain how a killer Sudoku works, or you know, imagine the text that explains the beginning of Sudokovania. Instead, bits of the text as you read the text might be highlighted, and you click on it and actually zooms to a location on the puzzle, and it highlights something and then draws an arrow and then points at another part of the puzzle, that sort of thing. That's kind of what I would like to do. Sort of, for example, let's say Sudokovania, right? So if we go Sudokovania Digital Despair, right now there's probably a whole bunch of text here. Oh my god, it's loading my probably trying, spoiler alert, trying to explain various rules. And this is actually relative compact, to be honest. But it would be cool if these things, you clicked on them and it'll open the settings page, or it shows an animation. If this had a button, show me, and you click on it, and then it moves to wherever, like, oh, you gotta fill in, you know, a digit here or there or whatever, right? It zooms onto this area. I think this one didn't do it as much as either the second one or the Super Sudokoid, where you actually had digits to fill in on this in a side panel to kind of learn skills and things like that. So if you know, these kinds of things, I'd love to be able to let people create higher quality experiences. But also going back to the sort of, like somebody sent me a video recently about, remember, oh yeah, this one. Kind of talking about, what was it? Sudoku, yeah, tutorial about using Sudoku Pad. Well, that's probably, yeah. No, this is actually not it. But like, I'm sure there's videos out there about explaining certain aspects, certain rules, certain constraints, certain kinds of things. And if I could bring those into Sudoku Pad itself as part of a puzzle, think of the one-cell puzzle problems, things like that. It would be nice if it was a more coherent experience, and if people could just build that, and Sudoku Pad being more of a playback engine for that, you know, to go beyond just a puzzle engine, but also being a puzzle experience playback engine kind of thing, right? Anywho, goodbye from me and Toby for this stream. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you all stopping by. Sorry I'm calling it a bit early, but my stomach is, I don't know, very unhappy. No worries, Chameleon. You're still the my go-to reference for, you know, puzzles that do more than just replicate pen and paper, and that's where I'd like to go at a, you know, but I want to do it well. I want to do it in a way that's future-proof and that's expandable and that's usable, and that's not just sort of just for funsies, a one-off, that kind of thing. And that's kind of tricky. It's not super easy. Ooh, virtual keys. Ooh, what's this? Never seen this before. Oh, Alt Shift. Huh. Interesting. Anywho, that's it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye from Toby.